Welcome, everybody, to a smarter way to manage AEC documents. Hi, I'm Cengiz Satir, and we're going to be taking you through a day in the life scenario where we'll walk you through a document preparation and signing workflow of a final safety inspection. But before we do that, I want to introduce my team and my colleagues here at Apprise and Xodo. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Elma.
Hi everyone, I'm Alma and I'm the Senior Product Manager for Xodo Web and Sign. Over to Ian.
Thanks, Alma. I'm Ian, Product Manager on Xodo Mobile and Xodo Desktop.
Thank you very much, you guys. Again, Cengiz Satir, VP of Products and Strategy at Apprise and Xodo. Before we get going, however, I want to sort of just do a couple of logistics related things. So you will see as we go through this webinar a poll available for you to connect with our team and for them to get in touch with you immediately and or after the webinar. So I want to make sure that you guys are aware of that. That's number one. Number two is at the end of the webinar, we're going to provide you with some contact information for you to reach directly out to this team here, as well as to the broader sales organization. We'd love to hear from you. Love to have you take us through your pain points around document editing and signing and various use cases that you have in your business that you want to solve for within your organization. So we're really excited to sort of get this kicked off and take you through everything. So with that, really quick on the agenda. Again, we're gonna start by talking about some of the more advanced sort of use cases in and around architectural and engineering, and having Xodo sort of be the front and center application to help you solve and address some of those document challenges. And we're going to do that in the context of a day in the life product showcase, walking you through a very specific use case, as I mentioned a second ago. And then we'll wrap things up by talking about what we believe are the key business takeaways for you today. So with that, I think the main thing that I want to get across here is that, there are a lot of different reasons why that you want to sort of leverage Xodo as a solution, but we're going to kind of just hit on three right now that I think are front and center in terms of the challenges. One is this ability to collaborate and edit complex files, documents, images, CAD files, vector-based graphics, and PDFs, all different types of file formats. And to do that in the context of a project plan, working on contracts, we're going to take you through the day in the life of a safety inspection, and doing that all around a workflow that involves multiple stakeholders that will be internal and external. And at the end of the day, your ability to seamlessly access that information, sign and approve, and get those project milestones completed wherever you are in the world is absolutely critical for every business. So we're going to show you how you can access that same information, same document workflow, and signing approval process from a mobile device. Last but not least, I think it's really important in terms of sort of seeing sort of the chain of command and document sort of auditing capabilities. We have this built-in auditing capabilities that allows you to sort of keep track of everything that has gone on throughout that document workflow signing process, and it automatically attaches that documentation along with your completed signed document. So if you want your projects completed on time and to make sure that you have the right compliance audit ready documentation to support your workflows, then you need to work with Xodo anywhere in the world, internal and external stakeholders. So with that, let's get going to the next set of reasons why our customers and potential customers, we believe, will use Xodo to solve those document challenges in and around architectural and engineering and construction related use cases. So first off is, the ability to collaborate anywhere. I mentioned a second ago, just the notion of, having, this robust sort of full breadth of document formats, but it's not just that, being platform agnostic. So being able to do this from any device, any platform, any operating system. And that's something that we're pretty proud of here at Apprise and Xodo. Again, that robust file format support that I talked about a minute ago is super important, but equally important is sort of the ubiquity in terms of being able to access documents wherever they are. So you may be accessing documents within the Xodo platform and the Xodo Sign platform, but you also want to access documents that might live elsewhere, whether it's on Google Drive or OneDrive or Dropbox or within your own file systems within your organization. So this notion of being able to truly collaborate anywhere and access the documents that you need is absolutely critical, along with these robust set of tools and capabilities that helps you accomplish your goals around document workflows and signing. Next is a workspace experience that's really robust in terms of a single advanced editing capability and signing workflow. Again, the ability to merge documents, convert documents, to redact sensitive information, all these purpose-built tools that allow you to keep the document workflow moving and moving in a direction where you're going to get that signature and that final signature done in time to sort of get to the next phase of your project. That's absolutely critical. And then last but not least, when we think about user experience or just experience in general, we want to make sure that when you are trying to get to that deadline, that you're able to sort of not only route and track the documents, but be able to do that whether you're on a browser or you're on a mobile device. So having a unified signing dashboard experience is something that we're pretty proud about, and you're going to see a little bit about that in a minute. You heard me talk a little bit about the importance of security and compliance a second ago. So, not only do we have, the built-in 256-bit encryption, a SOC 2 compliant environment, the ability to have tamper-proof signatures, but we also have built-in redaction and capabilities as part of these advanced tools that allow you to prepare documents and share them as part of your document workflow and signing process. And last but not least, I hinted at this a few seconds ago, is this notion of being able to have audit-ready documentation that automatically attaches a detailed log to your completed and signed documents. That's amazing, and it gives you peace of mind as far as I'm concerned. Let's hit on the last two. The last two is really around our proven expertise in this space, 20 plus years being backed by a prize and our Apprise SDK. And what's great about that is being sort of the out-of-the-box user experience, we have immediate access to that and allows us to deliver these great experiences to you, our customers, as well as sort of make sure that we're continuing to stay in line with the document standards that are out there. That's something that Apprise has been very well known for many, many years, and we get to benefit from that as well. So whether you're talking about standards that we all know and love, PDF and PDFA, or other document standards that are out there, we're going to be able to support that and help you, make sure that you're adhering to those standards. Last but not least is the breadth of the Xodo portfolio. So you're gonna see this in a minute, but having this unified web and mobile experience around advanced editing and signing, that's absolutely critical. We believe you don't want to have multiple tools all over the place to ultimately get you to that final stage of approval so that you can keep your project moving. You want to do it in one place. I think another important thing is, we think about document editing and all the different actions that you can take in preparing a document as part of workflow as something that can be simple, but it can also be, very complex if you don't have this built-in sort of ability to transform and convert and merge and do document assembly types of capabilities. So that's something that Xodo is really good at, and you'll see a little bit of that as well. Last but not least is a robust desktop experience for Windows, Mac, and Linux. Yes, I just said Linux. So being able to have multi-platform support, we are really excited about being able to extend the breadth of what we can do. And in our desktop environment, there are even more advanced capabilities. So advanced search, being able to reach into multiple files and folders across your file system, being able to then edit those documents and redact and do that all at scale, I think is something that a lot of businesses are looking for. They're also looking for this ability to do more document analysis and comparison in that desktop environment. I think that that's really important. And again, I think the document assembly capabilities combined with sort of these advanced search and editing and doing functions at scale, I think is really key on the desktop environment. So the full breadth of what we have to offer, 5 reasons why we believe that your business would want to leverage Xodo in and around architectural and engineering construction documents. So super excited about all that. But what we're going to do now is we're going to head over and talk a little bit about sort of what this showcase is going to walk you through in here in a second. So again, this is a final phase of our safety inspection approval. We have some folks that are on site, some folks that are off site. This is in a Toronto commercial building site. And these internal and external stakeholders with different project team members involved for today's demonstration. We have Elma that is going to be the site project manager. She's waving hi to everybody out there. Hi, Elma. We got Ian that is our safety inspection, who is going to be on site. And I am the oversight director for the project that I'll be signing off on the final approval today. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Elma, and she's going to get us kicked off as the site project manager.
Wonderful. Thank you, Jengis. So as he mentioned, we are at a crucial point in the project and the final safety inspection before we move into completion. So historically, this moment is usually where things start to slow down in projects. There's a lot of paperwork, things get messy. There's documents that are scattered across inboxes and different systems. Overall, it's a big pain. But today, we're going to be showing you how to go through this workflow in the most optimized fashion with Xodo. But before jumping into the actual signature flow, I did want to kick off by starting to review the safety inspection document in our editor right here on Xodo Sign, where I will just walk through to check if there's any comments, anything that I need to highlight within this document. So you can see right away, I have at my disposal an array of annotation tools. I have a view mode. I'm able to check if there's any comments that are left. I'm also able to look at all of the different pages with additional organization capabilities. I can drag and drop pages as needed. I also have the ability to add shapes, insert stamps, attachments, or images in the document. I have some measuring tools in case you have any diagrams in your document. There's also some advanced capability like redacting anything on the document as needed. You can crop any of the pages. You can also go ahead and edit the text directly in your PDF without needing to go through that tedious process of having to convert the document to Word. You can do this all right here within this one platform. And from here, you also have the ability to always download the file to your local device or step into the prepare for signature flow. But today, what we're going to do is kind of, rather than setting things up manually, I'm going to go ahead and upload the safety inspection form to my template. So I'm going to be importing the template from DocuSign. So this is just a great example of how Xodo works in a very flexible way when it comes to all sorts of documents, because we understand that you might be working with stakeholders who don't necessarily have Xodo or work with the platforms that you do. So we make it very easy to work with different file storage spaces. So I'm going to go ahead and import the template right here. And it pulls together all of the signature fields and all of the roles in the document already put in. So I don't need to do this over and over. I can always select the same template and jump right into my workflow. In this case, I have Safety Inspector Ian in the document with myself as two signers. So I'm just going to check that this is the correct document. Everything looks good. And then as I continue into the next step, I'm going to go ahead and add Jengis, our oversight director, as the last person to sign. So, site director as the role. And then I'm going to name section. And you can see as soon as I selected his name, since I have sent him documents before, he is now marked as a contact and it pre-fills the email field right away. So just a few quick things that make life easier. So I'm going to go ahead and add a message to kindly review and sign the document. All right, everything looks great here. I do want to mention before I jump into the next step that you can see that just in case I needed to add a few additional documents here that I didn't necessarily have at the beginning, I always have the option to import any files or documents from Dropbox, Box, OneDrive, and Google Drive. So just a note here. And then I'm going to move into the prepare flow where I will then quickly check any of the pages where I already have some existing fields. So I see there's an edited tag at the end. I'm going to see that, okay, I have myself and Ian with signature fields. I'm going to add Cengiz as a signer. So he'll be right there. And then I'll add an initial field for him right here, just so that he also signs off on the diagram. I'll go ahead at the end, then select Ian to add an additional attachment just in case he wants to add anything to the document before it gets wrapped up. Okay, that looks good. So I'm going to go ahead and save and use the document. And everything looks great. All of the roles are added. The message is saved. And I see the final document as one flow. And I'll go ahead and click send. And this is where I come to the point where I can see that right now Ian is in queue to sign the document. So he is going to be walking you guys through on how he's going to go through the signature flow. So over to you.
So as a mobile site inspector, it's important that I can access documents both online and offline wherever I am. Using Xodo Mobile, I can ensure that the Xodo Sign feature has what I need to sign the documents wherever I am. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go over to the Xodo Sign feature, click I need to sign, and I'm going to view the document that Elma just sent over. I can see on the unified dashboard that the next signer in order is me. I click the view document, I download the document, and I can see the site inspection right here on my phone. As I scroll, I notice there's a schematic missing that I need for this site inspection to be completed. It's an underground schematic. So with underground schematics, I'm probably not going to have access to network connection while I'm underground. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Xodo Mobile. I'm going to go to my recent files. I'm going to click the underground conduit schematics that was sent over by the engineers. Take a look at that while I'm underground and make sure that this matches what I see. Now that I've confirmed what I've seen, I'm going to go back to Xodo Sign. I'm going to go back to the I need to sign section, see that the document is still there. Click the sign section here. And as this loads, I can simply see the start button where I can enter my name. Click next. Put my signature in. I'm going to attach the underground schematics sent over by the engineers. And I can also use this opportunity to take pictures if I needed to. Now that it's uploaded, I click continue and I add my initials. As I click finish, I click I agree, and I send it over back to Alma.
Wonderful. So Ian has completed his signature. And as you can see now, I'm next in the queue. So I'm going to go ahead and sign the document. As I start, it brings me right into the field needed. Click next. Signatures. And I believe everything looks good. I see that he's added a attachment. Looks great. Click I agree. Wonderful. So then I go ahead and refresh the page to see the updated status. So both Ian and I have completed the signature flow. Now over to Cengiz, who is our director, who is our oversight director, and he is the last person to give his sign off. And it's important to note that we purposefully selected the order of signature just so that we don't bother him at the beginning. We clear everything up at first. Ian and I take care of the first rounds of review and signatures, and then now over to Cengiz for his final approval.
Thanks, Elma. I think you're right, and you're spot on with that. Right? It's not a small thing from a design perspective and a flow perspective to sort of give our customers the option to sort of have the right kind of progression in terms of workflow approvals. And again, to your point, like making sure that the final approver is really the final final approver in a workflow, that everything is really in that final state for them to sign off on. So really appreciate you sharing that information. I'm logged in right now, and I see and awaiting my signature status. Looking, I can see Ian's signed it. The project manager, Elma, you've signed it, right? And now it's my turn to sign it. So I'm going to go ahead and click on sign. And you folks on the other end that are watching this, you'll see in a minute my signature come through. But as I go through the document, I'll hit on the start button. It jumps me right to where I need to sign, which is amazing. Saves a ton of time. I don't need to scroll or anything like that. Now I've signed the document. Next step for me is to actually put my initials on the diagram that is also attached here. So I'm gonna add that as well. And I've done that. And the final step is for me to click on finish, and I agree. And now you should see it magically appear on the signing dashboard, and you will see my approval is there as well. So now, what's great about all of this, all that we walked you through today, is that, again, you can be anywhere, on-site, off-site, stakeholders that are on the platform, off the platform, accessing documents that are on it and off it. At the end of the day, none of that is preventing you from getting the job done and getting it done in a very timely manner. So, we talked about that earlier, is if you want your project done on time, you need to actually leverage Xodo for your solutions, right? So we're really excited about all this. And we were glad to sort of take you through this showcase. And we're happy to sort of spend a few minutes with you here at the end of this webinar, doing a little bit of a Q&A. So, but before we do that, I want to take you through one last thing, which is our key business takeaways. So really quick, we think there's 6 of them here. One around document transformation. Again, the breadth of our document formats is absolutely key. Being able to leverage those formats to do all these different document transformation capabilities that Elma showed you a little bit of a quick glimpse on that unified experience. So speaking of unified experience, right, I think, again, having one editing and sign experience for web and about to be for mobile. So you guys got a little bit of a sneak peek with Ian showing you what things look like on a mobile device. I sort of glanced over this a second ago, but I want to mention it one more time. Again, I think our ability to sort of plug into other third-party solutions. So the DocuSign template importing experience, again, from an automation standpoint, speeding things up, really important. I mentioned security being a major sort of reason why you want to choose a solution like Xodo. So having that 256-bit encryption, having signature validation, legal signature validation, LTV as part of the solution, all in a SOC 2 compliant environment, absolutely paramount for you folks. Mobile access, Android, iOS, offline support. You saw that from Ian. Our industry proven technology and expertise in this space for 20 plus years, with a prize sort of being in front and center as part of that, with the SDK, supporting all the standards that you need in and around document management. And then last but not least, a multi-platform SaaS solution. So supporting desktop, web, mobile, Mac, Linux, Android, iOS, giving you guys all kinds of optionality in terms of how you want to deploy, what you want to deploy for your business users. We are just ecstatic, right, with the things that we're doing around our solutions for you folks. And we're really excited to sort of spend a few minutes here at the end taking some Q&A. So with that, let's get started in just 1 second. But again, one more logistics thing. Reach out to all 3 of us on LinkedIn. Happy to chat with you guys. Want to go deeper on your use cases that you have within your organization? Follow us on LinkedIn. There's a couple of links there around the Xodo LinkedIn site and also the Xodo Sign LinkedIn site. And certainly reach out to our sales team at sales@xodo.com. So with that, we want to go ahead and take you through a Q&A session. So We're queuing that up right now. Thank you all.